if you could begin by talking about the origins of the project and then how you got involved as a producer.
Absolutely. So at the end of 2011, I went for a very nice lunch with the music producer Arthur Baker. We were chatting about various things and a completely different project, and we were having lovely tapas and a bit of wine. We were with a British actor, and then after a while we moved on to a music conversation, and very quickly we got talking about the 808 and reminiscing about key tracks and, you know, the attachment one has about the machine and how it all kind of builds up and the questions and so on. And I had just finished my previous feature, the New York Influence City, which was very different. It was about the New York art scene, so a very different setting. Yeah, I sort of had this sort of light bulb popped up saying, hey, that could be my next film. And then I went back to the office and spoke to Alexander Dunn, and he got really excited. Well, so excited he became the director of the film. We had more conversations with Arthur as well, and it started to take shape. I guess, you know, obviously we remain an independent production. We're not very well financed. I mean, we raised what we needed, and we just went on to be in a lot of very good place at the right time. With that in mind, obviously, Arthur Baker has an amazing reach, and he brought on, you know, most of the talent that we got. And again, it was a question. I mean, it was incredible. We were at the Standard Hotel where they had a key party of WMC, and he was out there hawking people onto our camera, and we got an incredible day there. You know, where we got, for example, Diplo, and at the same time, it was so efforts of always being, you know, there at the right time when we knew something was going on, and using music events as a good idea that who would be gathered. I mean, when we came to LA, it was during the Coachella in between weeks, so we knew a lot of artists would be here. Then Matt Jarman dropped a surprise on us because we had no idea how to get Phil Collins, and Matt Jarman, who's a co-producer as well, and supervised the sound, just through his connection. I'm, you know, still puzzled as to how he called me one day and said, by the way, we have an opportunity to shoot an interview with Phil Collins in New York. And for somebody like Phil Collins to embrace it, what it took was this weird and wonderful sound. Those little bits of madness that the conga or the hand clap or the tinny snare would bring. And the way he used it was actually to give him more room to be both the phenomenal drummer that he was, or that he is, sorry, and the fantastic singer that we got to enjoy. And he said that actually it allowed him to write more, it allowed him to sit back and have it run and write to it, whereas, you know, when he's drumming he can't write, and also drumming gets into a different mood. But similarly, it got him to explore as well the sound, the sounds beyond the drums and how they can work together. So I think there's a huge combination that Phil Collins represents of how the 808 brings a creative challenge or creative spark, something inspiring that actually gets you to do things a bit differently.
Was there anyone that you really wanted to get that for whatever reason, scheduling or whatever, were unable to get?
Kanye.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's I think as a great example of the modern culture of the 808, having such a huge album in 808s and Heartbreak, you know, name dropping the 808 was a story we wanted to tell. It didn't turn out possible. I mean, we were so spoiled with the amazing people we got that we couldn't really complain about it.
In the story that you tell in the film, the evolution of the 808, talk about the importance of Marvin Gaye and recording Sexual Healing, because it changed everything.
That is, you know, such a mysterious part of the story. I mean, that's the coldest soul love song there is out, you know, there is in musical history, and it's the one that got Marvin Gaye a Grammy. It is late in his career. It represents a whole crossroad of various phases, and when we got the opportunity to speak to his sound engineer in Ostend, we wanted to hear the story. It's a super important story it's an incredible track, and in many ways it epitomizes what the 808's legacy is all about. When you hear the stories of Rick Rubin, or you know, reversing the beat in Paul Revere, which the Beastie Boys still can't explain quite fully, those moments, those creative sparks of moment, stem from the fact that you are invited by something that is already out of the ordinary. And I think what is important in hip hop is that it is a very it's generally a very gutsy performance, and people put a lot of themselves into it, and having tools that invite that little bit more of this personal touch, of this personal madness, in fact make the 808 the important tool that it has been. And then the fact that you have inspired people like Rick to mess with it to that level, I mean, what can we say? I mean, you know, the Beastie Boys could not stop, you know, saying how it changed their career. And I mean, the Beastie Boys are a fantastic symbol of sort of a type of hip hop, coming from punk rock and making the most out of a machine like the 808, with a producer like Rick Rubin, who didn't worry about changing the method and changing the sound, and you know, making things very much differently. And you know, Adam Yauch, who, the way they describe him was, you know, the most astute of the band in terms of the knowledge of the techniques that were used. That made an amazing synergetic combination. I think when we listen to Paul Revere, and the reason we selected it is that it plays the drums backwards, and we can't get over that. As Lil Jon said, who thinks of that? So, and you know, another point about the Beastie Boys is that was very much something that Alex Dunn wanted to get, and we had been
to get their story.
Yeah, to get that to round up, because I mean, he's a massive Beastie Boys fan, and I mean, we all are fans, but that was one story, and he got to interview them himself as well, which was a nice way to wrap up the film.
I too am a huge Beastie Boys fan, and for me it was bittersweet seeing them in the movie Ad Rock and Mike D, because as far as I know, this is the first public appearance the two have done together since the passing of MCA. What was that moment like on set when Alex was shooting it? What was it like, and the importance of getting these two together for the first time in a long time? We
had a nice chat with the guys actually after the interview, and we said that, you know, it would have been phenomenal to hear his points, I mean, the guys gave us an incredible moment in the film. Their energy together, the way they bounce off each other, their humor, their knowledge, their experience adds something incredible to the film. I don't think it is possible to decide what Adam would have added to it, but the fact is, yes, we kind of felt his lost ways on them, and we felt that that you know, we were missing someone, and it was a very, very emotional moment for everybody, because the fact is, it was the last big interview of the film, and it was, you know, we didn't think we would ever get them, and then arriving and seeing the two of them, by opposition to the three of them, was, I think it touched all of us. But the fact is, with Rick Rubin also in the film telling the story, it was important to get them heard. And in a way, I'm glad they don't speak to everybody, and that they gave us the time. It's a special story, and they seem to really believe in it.